Let us start. So we can discuss the motion under straight line, right? So that's what we call as the rectilinear motion. So rectilinear motion. Or motion in straight line. So motion in straight line, we have discussed two different cases. One is when acceleration is 0 and we have the velocity is equal to displacement by time. And the second case when acceleration is constant, then, so this is constant. In this particular case, we have got different formulas for different variables. That is, velocity at any instant time is u plus at, where u is the initial velocity. And then the displacement s is equal to ut plus half at square. And this is the displacement under the acceleration of a and with an initial velocity of u. And the third one is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So where a is the acceleration, u is the initial velocity, and s is the displacement, and v is the final velocity. And the next formula is Sn. So Snth. So nth second distance that is traveled is u plus a into n minus half. So this is the displacement that is traveled in one particular second, that is 10th second or 11th second or 12th second, like that. And then these are the different aspects. Actually, that's what we have discussed. So the next one, this is actually we were discussing under constant acceleration. So constant acceleration meaning it is going with equal changes of velocity in equal intervals of time. Now that may be of two different kinds we can think of. Suppose a car traveling on the road, let us say we are maintaining constant acceleration for the car or maybe the bike. So when it is traveling on the road, we are maintaining a constant acceleration of a. Now in such cases, actually we can make use of all these formulas. If you want to find out the velocity at an instant of time, then you can use this one. And if you want to find out the displacement from the starting point for any particular time, so this is the formula that we can make use of it. And then actually, if you know the displacement that is traveled and you know the initial velocity, that's what we started, then actually we'll be able to know the final velocity from this. And the nth second displacement we can find out from this particular formula. Now, there is one universal case where even though we are not talking about anything related to acceleration, there is something called acceleration due to gravity, which essentially means that suppose if I leave this block of mass, then it is traveling to the ground. When it is traveling to the ground, if you notice, when I leave this block, actually it started with zero velocity. So it started with zero velocity and it's moving. Now by the time when it reaches the ground, it is having certain value of the velocity. And if you notice, at every second actually it's keep on increasing its velocity. So suppose if the ball is dropped from the aeroplane, so when it started its velocity, it started with zero velocity because it just we dropped the ball like this. But by the time it comes to the ground, it travels with a very high velocity. See, from the starting point to the ending point, there is a huge increment in the velocity. That means there is a continuous acceleration. That acceleration actually makes the body to travel with higher and higher velocities when the time goes on. And then actually, finally it reaches to a great velocity by the time it comes to the ground. That means there is some kind of acceleration that is acting on the ball. And that acceleration, that is, the acceleration is due to the ground. So that's what we call as acceleration due to gravity. So that is usually represented with g. So this is acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. Now this is essentially a quantity. Till now whatever we dealt is actually a, but instead of a is equal to g and g is a constant. And this is universally applicable for any ball or actually for any block of mass which is on the ground. So suppose actually if you leave the block of mass anywhere, it travels towards the ground always, and the velocity is decided by the acceleration due to gravity. Now here actually I will give you the analogy between the gravity and the acceleration. See this, as and when we talk about the acceleration, we have to talk about the force as well. Because when we discuss initially, F actually, we express this as mass into acceleration. Now for a constant mass, because we are dealing with always, most of the cases, 99% of the cases are the constant mass. So that is, if I leave this block of mass, the mass of this block is not going to be changed when it is moving from top position to the ground. So the mass is maintained constant. If the mass is maintained constant, then actually M is constant and F is directly proportional to A. So F is directly proportional to A, meaning the force is always proportional to the acceleration. Wherever force is there, we can make use of acceleration in that particular place. So here the force is nothing but the way we apply to move the body from one location to another location. Now here actually the Newton's law of gravity, what it says is, whenever there are two different blocks of mass, here actually there are two masses are there. Now this is M1 and this is M2. Now when there are two masses, if they are separated by a distance of r, obviously there exists a force between those two blocks of masses, and that force is given by M1 M2 by r square times of some constant g. So here actually this is what we call as Newton's law of gravity. Now this Newton's law of gravity, what it states is, it states multiple things. One point is, if there are two blocks of mass, always there exists a force between those two. So that means this is M1 and this is M2, the force between them is always actually exists. And the second important point that what it states is, the force is always attractive. There is nothing like repulsive force. The force is between two masses is always attractive, and the force is always in the line joining the center of mass of these two blocks. So this is the center of mass and this is the center of mass. So there is a line if you draw from the center of mass of those two blocks, and the force is always acting on this center of mass. So this is always on this particular line. That is the second point. So there is a force between them, and the force is always on the line joining the center of mass, and the force magnitude is directly proportional to each of the mass. That means the force is proportional to the mass 1 and the force is proportional to the mass 2, and the force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between those two. So that is why it is coming in the denominator, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between these two blocks. So that is inversely proportional to r square, and the proportionality you can replace with a constant called g, and this is what is called as, this constant is called as, so this constant is called as the gravitational constant.